What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So, on today's subject matter, skills pay bills. All right? Such a basic thing. Yet, I keep running into people that don't seem to grasp this concept. Everybody wants to have a certain lifestyle, increase their income, have the financial freedom, but everybody seems to think that it's supposed to magically happen or that is gonna manifest out of thin air as if you didn't have to do anything for it. Okay? Don't know where that delusion comes from, the mixed in with procrastination and the lack of any sense of urgency, and the years pass by. Oh, it's gonna happen one day. I'm gonna catch a break. I'm gonna get an opportunity. I'm gonna get lucky. Years, decades pass by, and a lot of these people are still talking about what is it they're going to do. And I know quite a few of these people. They're nice people. There's nothing wrong with them. But they have this delusional mindset that things somehow are going to change on their own outside of themselves. Okay? And no matter how many times I've had conversations with them on the fact that if you want to increase your income, you gotta do something different. You gotta learn a new skill. And if you learn a new skill, it's not enough just to learn it. You need to constantly upskill because you have competition in the market. The more and better skills you have, the better you get paid. It really is that simple. But the bottleneck for a lot of people in this is that they don't want to put in the effort. They don't want to do the work. Everybody has this sense of entitlement that they deserve to have things without putting in the work or doing anything. And listen, I love the idea. I love the idea of having to get the things I want out of life without having to put effort. But life doesn't work that way. Okay? When it comes to anything you want out of life, let's say the job you want, the house you want, the car you want to drive, the trips you want to go on, the girl or guy you want to date, it all takes effort. It all takes work. Okay? And throw into that the fact that life is unfair. We all have very different starting lines. Some of us are ahead of the others, and some of us are behind of others. And then that even makes it more frustrating. And throw in comparison, right? Where everybody now, thanks to social media, is fixated on what everyone else is doing rather than taking that time, taking that attention, and putting it into themselves so they can get where they want in life. Instead, they're spending it getting jealous, envious of those that have what they want, simply living vicariously through others, or simply just checking how they measure to others and doing nothing about it. Skills pay bills, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? And right now, the biggest skill, and actually it's not just right now, it's always been there and always will be, even with all of this over marketed and hyped AI and machine learning. The biggest skill and the best skill you can have is the ability to sell and market yourself and build relationships with people. I can tell you from experience, okay? And this is coming from the guy who used to be super hardworking at his technical skills. It doesn't matter how good you are in terms of technical or delivery if no one likes you enough to buy from you. Okay? You could literally be mediocre or subpar in what you do. But if you have the skill of being able to interact with people, understand people, have emotional intelligence, be able to influence people, be able to sell to people, be able to brand and market yourself in ways that make you appealing to people, at least from a perception standpoint, you're going to do fine no matter what. So this is one of the skills I will personally admit I'm not the best at myself. I've gotten better over the years, but it's one of those skills that unfortunately is extremely necessary. Okay? A lot of the time it's not about the work you do, it's about the perception of the work you do. This is why, for example, in corporate settings, a lot of people will get by doing absolutely nothing as long as they pretend to be doing work. And meanwhile, people that actually grind day in, day out, put in the hours and do all the heavy lifting go nowhere. They don't get the promotions. They don't get the salary increase. Life does not reward actual work, believe it or not. It rewards the perception of work. And that in itself is a skill, okay? You see, when I also say skills pay pills, you have to understand that it's not just a matter of learning one skill and you're good. No, you have to figure out which skill you need to develop, and then you want to double down on that, okay? And you're going to figure out which skill to develop based on one of two things. Either one, it's a passion of yours, or two, you've been monetarily rewarded for it. Whatever the case may be, you need some sort of incentive to keep you engaged with developing your skill. Okay, if it's your passion, great. If it's money, which is really the idea of having the skill in the first place, even better. So once you figure out where you put your focus, attention, and energy, then double down, triple down, quadruple on that skill development. Milk it for all it has got, okay? The better you get at it, the more you're going to make, and the better your life will be. And then something really funny happens when you actually start increasing your income and your confidence level increases because of, your capability and skills. You don't crave the material things anymore. You don't really feel the need to necessarily differentiate yourself or set yourself apart from others. You don't feel the need to do things that you don't want to do anymore because you're safe, you're established. You have this level of comfort, not because your life is easy now, but because you know you have the discipline to do what it takes to get ahead, and there's comfort and a sense of safety in that. It's a feeling that's indescribable, and your cravings literally for things that are not good for you, like spending a ton of money on material things you didn't need, eating like bad food, hanging around like with people doing nothing worthwhile with your time. These cravings go away because you got to understand that a lot of these things are nothing more but coping mechanisms. Coping mechanisms and you procrastinating on what you really need to do. Because you see, the thing is, change is painful. When you're about to take on new skills and take on a new life, making that transition is painful. Your brain doesn't like change. It wants to sit where it is, continue with what it is doing, and not have to go through the uncertainty of change. But on the other hand, your brain also knows what you need to do and doesn't like the idea that you're not doing it and trying to numb yourself by whatever stupid nonsense you're doing. So choose your pain, really. But you do need to upskill. You don't have a choice, let's face it. And truth be told, you don't even have an excuse, because now with AI, everything from Chat, GPT, DeepSeek, all of these different AI machine learning models, you literally have never, ever had that much access to information at your fingertips. You don't even need to read a book. You don't have to watch a video if you don't want to. You can get super deep and technical as much as you want using GPT and all of these AI and ML models. So the only real reason you're not doing it is because you're lazy. You, frankly, don't respect yourself enough. You sit there, you fantasize, and you dream, and you talk about what you want out of life, but you're not willing to do anything. You're not willing to take the necessary steps to make it happen. And one day passes by, 2 days pass by, a week, a month, a year, a decade, and you're still in the same exact place, living in this magical fairy tale land that your time is going to come, something is going to happen, and your fortunes and luck are going to change. That's not how life works, okay? And in a lot of ways, it's not your fault. I mean, again, it all goes back, and I've covered this in some other videos, to the conditioning and the way most people around the world have been brought up. You're always looking for a handout. You're conditioned to look for orders and someone else outside of yourself, be it from your family or institutions like schools, universities, employers, to tell you how to live your life and how to lead your life, where you need to focus your time and energy, and what to do even with your free time. You're always looking for instructions, and you've been conditioned into that, which is why you struggle to take ownership of yourself, to be accountable for yourself. And listen, I get it. I've been there myself, so it's understandable. But at some point, when you have the awareness of this, you need to literally force yourself to do what needs to be done. If you don't have this visceral rage and anger at not being where you want in life, or having what you want out of life, or feeling this indignation at being, in a lot of ways, tricked into living a mediocre life, then you've got some thinking to do. Because it's this rage and sense of indignation is what's gonna start that fire in your belly and get you going. And whether you like it or not, you will end up forcing yourself and disciplining yourself into learning what you need to learn and doing what you need to do. It won't be an option. It won't be a choice. It'll be necessity. Because whether you like it or not, you're in survival mode. Just because you think you can afford to, pay your rent and eat, which is not guaranteed anymore, by the way. None of it lasts. None of it lasts, and it's not within your control either. You're being numbed. I can tell you this 20 years ago, maybe even more, when I first heard this guy online, O'Leary. Don't really follow him, but there was this quote of him going around, is that him saying, the salary they pay you is the drug that numbs you. Something along these lines. And that is so true, you guys. That is so true. Having worked all sorts of jobs, corporate jobs, government, tech, you name it. It really is a drug that numbs you. And that the numbness of that drug comes in the form of comfort. It's not even real comfort. It's not even a real sense of safety. I mean, it's just an illusion. Okay? So you literally have to save yourself. You have to pick up skills, regardless of what age bracket you're in. Could be your teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Doesn't matter. Age is not an excuse anymore in 2025. You literally have free access to information and technology. It's all democratized. You have no excuse whatsoever, aside from the fact that you just don't want to do it. So you need to hustle. You need to pick new skills. To give you some ideas, if you're a super technical person, get into machine learning and AI. The stretch on that is going to be very, very long, especially when it comes to replacement of white-collar jobs. If, on the other hand, you're technical but you like working with your hands, it's actually a really good time to get into trades, because it'll be a while before AI can hit trades. So anything where it involves working with hands, like plumbing, carpentry, masonry, steelworking, woodworking, you name it, anything involves using your physical hands, you're in good shape for some time. Okay? Like I mentioned earlier, learn branding, marketing, sales, not just for your product or service, but also for yourself. You're also going to want to be able to pull systems together. So, well, not systems together per se, but you need to be able to think in terms of systems where you are able to see the big picture and pull different technologies, people, processes together. And that is a skill set. This is actually what a lot of the C-suites that make like 60 million, 150 million a year get paid for. They are not as good as their employees, nor do they actually do any real work, aside from the fact that they have the ability and also the trust of the shareholders and the board to strategize and pull different components together where they're able to produce multiples in terms of value. So this is just a few ideas here, but honestly, you don't want to sit around and just listen to just ideas and recommendations. You need to sit down and put in the work, figure out what you want, figure out how to get it, what kind of skill sets you need, and you need to have initiative. Without it, you're not going anywhere. Okay? Right, you guys, hopefully this has been helpful for some of you. If it has been, consider subscribing to the channel, giving me a thumbs up, and commenting down below to engage with me. Otherwise, as per usual, very much appreciate your time and attention, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.